Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we have an awesome video to talk about. I bought another Toyota. Right behind me is another Toyota pickup, and it's just not any Toyota, guys. This is one of those dream truck that you wait, and you finally wait until they finally put it on the market. Now behind me is a 1994 Toyota SR5 V6 3VZE 5-speed transmission. It is in excellent shape. Completely stock. It has a canopy. But let's talk about this, guys. Body's in good shape. Frame is in good shape. A little bit surface rust, which is normal. It has 112,000 miles, but the engine is running kind of crappy. So this popped up on Facebook Market a couple days ago. I hit him up. I'm like, hey man, I'm interested. I want to come take a look at it, and then bought it the next day. So here's the little story behind this. Let me talk a little bit first, and then we'll go ahead and show you guys the truck. So stay tuned. Here's a little story. The guy that I bought it from, he owns a mechanic shop. So he himself is a mechanic. He had a customer who brought their truck to get it fixed or something like that. I don't know what the story was. I think it had an engine problem, and he had to order a new engine. So he ordered a JDM engine, which is a used engine. I'm not sure what the difference is between a JDM versus American engine. Maybe some slight difference. But at some point, that customer sold it to him, the mechanic, because I guess they didn't want to deal with it anymore. So this mechanic put this new JDM motor, did a few things, and they got it running, but it's running kind of crappy. And I'll talk more about it once I show you guys the engine bay. It runs crappy. I went there, I started it up. You know, we can drive it back and forth. I drove it around their mechanic yard a little bit, but I didn't take it on the road or anything like that. So it was good enough to get onto a car dolly. So that's the story behind it. But you guys know me, I don't care about the 3.0. I would like to get this engine, see what's wrong with it, and hopefully if it is a good engine, I can at least pull it out and be able to sell it and say that the engine is good. It sounds like it has a misfire or something along that line, or it has low compression on one of those cylinders, because it has a very similar symptom to my black 92 pickup. When I bought that, it had a completely burnt valve on cylinder 5 and 6. So very similar symptoms. And if you guys are like me that work on 3.0 truck, you guys know what a healthy 3.0 engine sounds like and what a bad engine sounds like. Either misfire, fuel injector, spark plug, or something along that line. So that's the story. But you guys also know that I'm getting ready for my hunting trip, so I'm not going to be working on this truck much. I'll spin a little bit here and there, clean it up here and there and all, but I'm not going to be doing anything to it yet. You guys already know the game plan. We're going to keep it stock, and I'm going to do a 3.4 swap to it. I already have the motor. I have the harness. We just need to order some new parts, refresh that 3.4 motor on, and slap it in. So that is the story with this truck. That's all I have. 112,000 miles. It looks amazing outside. The driver fender has the clear coat on the driver fender is cracking a little bit, but other than that, everything else on the body is still nice and good. It's the clear coat, still nice. It's that maroon red, which is very similar to my Land Cruiser, or it's actually the same color, but that's about it. I really wish this was the cardinal red. So the cardinal red is the typical red like Ducati, Honda, which is the one my 94 that I had last year that I sold it. So I kind of wish this would have been the cardinal red, which would have been the perfect dream truck. But it is what it is. It's still a beautiful truck. 94, 95 over the last 2 years, really hard to find those. So I'm very blessed to have found a perfect truck that will be a good 3.4 candidate. So with that being said, guys, let me show you guys this truck. I haven't done anything to it yet because it's been raining for the last 2 days since I bought it, and I've been coming out. I didn't do much. The only thing I did was the topper. It came with some roof rails. I took those off and I sold them already. And we might sell the topper. If the topper doesn't sell, I'm gonna hold on to it for now. Right now, I'm not in a rush to sell the topper because I can also use the truck bed as a dry storage, so I'm not in a rush for it. I did list the topper up for sale. I think I put 800 bucks, which I think is a great price. So if it does sell for 800 bucks, I'll sell it. But if nobody wants to pay that much, then I'd rather just keep that topper, because I will be needing that storage space for all the stuff like that. Let's take a look at the 94. It is a little bit raining here and there, so I'll try to film this as fast as possible so my gear doesn't get wet. Sorry, my driveway is kind of crowded right now, so you guys can't get a full view of it. There it is, guys. 1994 SR5. Everything is original. 31-inch tire, 15-inch SR5 aluminums. The topper is made by Horizon. I never heard of that brand before, but this topper was made exactly for these trucks. If you guys know these 89 pickup trucks, people always put topper on them, and they always have a gap because they're not the correct topper for these trucks. But this topper was made for this truck, and it even has the same color. So I wonder if this topper has been with this truck its whole life, or maybe at one point in life they finally got it and they either did a paint match or something along that line. You can tell it's not slightly the perfect match. That one's a bit more lighter, but it's good enough from far away. Don't mind the mess. I got a buddy coming here soon, so he's gonna pick up all these spare parts. These are all just random parts. This truck did include the original engine. You can see there's a hole in the block, and then there's a crack behind there, so it's pretty much junk. But my buddy is another Toyota guru. He likes 3.0 stuff, so he's gonna keep all this 3.0 stuff. So he's gonna come pick up this engine. I went ahead and took out the engine mounts. I'm keeping the engine mounts. I kept the oil pressure sensor and the oil pan and the oil pickup tube. I'm keeping those two, but I'm gonna get him this one, and he's gonna bring me a oil and a pickup tube that he already has pull off, so it makes it more easier to just swap it out. So this is the 3.0. It has a great topper, has all the plastic liner. This is the Toyota liner, fiberglass topper, so it's nice and light, and it has the clamps. And like I said, I think this topper has been with this truck for a good amount of its life. The topper has a good door, the struts works amazing, and I also have the keys for the topper so I can lock it up. I can't really show too much of the passenger side because it's kind of crowded, but just trust me, it's clean. It's clean as it gets. And then let me show you the clear coat fading that I was talking about. So on the body here, this is the only bad part, and it's not even that bad. So you guys can see from the top of the fender to about right here where my hand is tracing, you can see the clear coat is coming off. I am not a body paint expert, and I'm hoping I can find somebody that can either fix this. Either they can buff this down and then put a new clear coat, or maybe they have to completely sand this fender and repaint it and then re-gloss it up, or whatever the case may be. But I'm hoping that this can be fixed easily, which any professional paint guy can do. And you can see why the maroon 5, I don't really, the moon red, I'm not a big fan of this color, because once they start fading, they turn into this flat red here. It's very flat, and it's just not my favorite color. I'm not a fan of this color on my Land Cruiser, but you know, it's my Toyota. I love them for what they are. The side steps are kind of rusty. I am gonna remove those. I might remove them, or I might sand this down and then just repaint it. They're still really good. They're nice and sturdy, but we'll decide what I want to do later, guys. The frame is pretty solid. It has a little bit of surface rust, but nothing crazy. SR5, electric doors, electric windows. The interior is a bit dirty, but it's not torn apart. It just needs to be fully detailed, guys. The previous owner, either the mechanic or the guy before him, they either had animals, so you can see all the pet hair, cats or dog. So what I plan to do is, this thing's gonna need a full detail, because it also smells like a high school boy locker. So I'm gonna remove the seats, shampoo as much as possible. I want to remove the carpet and do a full shampoo, pressure wash, because it smells like it smells like it's like a high school gym, and I want to get this smell out of here so I can make it all nice and fresh. Overall, the interior is solid. It just has a lot of pet hair, I did went on Amazon and order some of those tools to help remove pet hair, so I will be using that. And you can see the headliner is nice and clean. This one also has the moon roof, or the sun roof as you may call it. It's been raining for the last couple days and I have not seen any water leaks, so that means that this roof here is good. I wish this one had the roof cover, or the sunroof cover, but it is what it is. That's a rare piece by itself. These seats are in amazing shape. There's absolutely no rips in here. And then the driver's seat belt is also in amazing shape, guys. You guys know Toyota, they're known for their worn seat belt. They're known to rip around here and along right here, because you get in and out, in and out. My black 92, I believe mine is already ripping around here. So with these seats being in good shape, I might try to find some really high quality seat covers that are gonna fit perfectly nice in here. This one also is factory G254, which means it has the factory 456. It has the center console. My black Toyota is missing the center console. This center console is still really nice. The only thing is that the lid here is slightly broken. You can see the hinge right here kind of wants to come out like that, because it's broken at this hinge piece. So hopefully in the future I can find a new hinge, but for now it's still fine, guys. It still closes and I can just leave it the way it is like that. Don't mess with it too much. Interior, like I said, just needs a full shampoo. You can see the carpet, and as we move in here, has cruise control. There it is, 112,000 miles, 255. Everything is nice. Shift lever, everything just needs to be clean and put away. I kind of wish it had the original radio. My 92 pickup still has the original radio, but this one has the aftermarket. This one does work, so it's all good. Heater works as well, the clock works as well, and the cup holder is not broken. Check that out. You just need it just needs to be clean. So most of the time this cup holder, it breaks and it goes all the way down, and it's pretty much useless. I try to not use the cup holder too much just to prevent it from breaking. And I need to get rid of all these scent stuff in here. They put so many different type of scent that this vehicle just smells like a high school boy locker. But other than that, it's pretty darn good. Has the ashtray, the bottom tray down here where you can store stuff. Has a nice glove department. A little bit scuffed right here, but nothing crazy. I have plenty of spare glove department if I need to. If you guys haven't noticed, this is the typical gray. So this is the typical Toyota gray, which is very nice because it's very common. So finding parts is really easy to find for these interior. It's not the blue, or it's not the unicorn red interior, which is super rare. It's nice to have those colors, but those are hard to find. Once you need something, you can't really match it up. Passenger side door, this also has the wing windows. The seats is in great shape as well. Passenger seat, everything works amazing, guys. Everything looks amazing. There it is. Even the sun visor are in good shape. Even the lights right here works amazing. And you can still see the literature up here, which is amazing. This is your little pan book that tells you to maintain your dry shaft, grease them up, and etc. You can see everything is still really nice. The headliner is completely nice, no tear, and this mirror is still really good, guys. You guys notice that a lot of the mirrors, sometimes when you get them, they wiggle a lot, and this one is still really nice and sturdy. I like to put the oversized mirror clamp on them, and I'll probably do that for this truck. There you go, guys. So these are the oversized mirror that I put on all my vehicles. You can get it for 10 bucks on Amazon, and it just has a clamp on the back that extend out like a little foam mount, and it just clamps right onto your existing mirror. Works amazing. I love it for these old style trucks. With the interior out of the way, let me show you guys the engine and some of the problems that I see already. So let's take a look at the engine bay. This truck also has a nice steering wheel still. I like to always put a steering cover on it, just because the steering cover makes it feel more nicer. It makes it a little bit more thicker in diameter and just makes it feel a little bit better. So all my Toyota trucks, I put a steering cover, just something basic from your local Walmart, 10 bucks, 20 bucks steering cover. I'll probably find one that's like gray or black, and it'll fit in perfect and look nice. Like I said earlier, guys, the guy that I bought it from, he ordered a JDM 3.0 motor. I don't know what the big difference is between JDM motors, so if you guys know, let me know in the comment section below. So the first thing I noticed when I drove this truck was that it has no power steering, and the reason was because they decided to not hook up the power steering belt. I don't know why they did that, but maybe they were just giving up on this truck. I love it when people give up on 3.0 because that makes them sell it, which makes me buy it. So yeah, it has no power steering belt, which isn't too bad. Like I said, I'm just driving it back and forth, moving around my driveway. So that's the first thing I noticed. And then like I said, I'll go ahead and start it up in a bit here so you guys can see how it sounds and the symptoms. I think it might have, the worst case scenario is that it might have a bad compression, so that means that he probably ordered a bad motor, or the timing is off. And let me show you something, guys. You can tell this distributor is new, this cap, this rotor is new. You can tell these wires are new, so they put some new stuff in it. But look at this, guys. This distributor is not supposed to be like that, and let me show you why. It's because they put a zip tie right there. You see where you're supposed to have a bolt? They put a zip tie there, and I don't know why they did that. There's supposed to be a bolt that goes in there, and you just have to tighten it to your certain degree. So when I bought it, it was like all the way down. So I'm not sure if the hole is stripped. The hole might be stripped. That's the reason why they might not be able to put a bolt in there. So maybe this vehicle is running crappy because the timing has been at, you know, maybe it's at -5, 0 degrees. Maybe it's at 5 degrees. Maybe it's at 20 degrees advance. Who knows? But this might be an issue for sure. So I don't know why those mechanics couldn't troubleshoot that. But before I even do the timing issue, I'm gonna go ahead and do a compression check, because if this thing has 0 compression on one of the cylinder, that means this motor is completely not worth even fixing. But if all the compressions are good, then most likely it's the timing here, and we'll go ahead and fix that. At least the engine is good, and it's just the timing. And then I also noticed they put an aftermarket igniter. This is your coil igniter. I'm assuming the original one here is bad, or maybe it's good, but they just had it hanging like that. They had the cruise control hooked up. All that stuff is still hooked up. I haven't popped open the air box yet. The radiator is the original one. It's the metal copper. They're using the red coolant, which is fine. The belts down here, they look pretty good. And it looks like they put some new hoses and stuff like that. I didn't even check the oil yet. And that's pretty much it that I noticed was, you know, that distributor for sure. And then the power steering. You can see the power steering is not even bolted down. If I get this engine running good, then I might slap on the power steering just so that I can at least take it for a test drive and see how well this motor run. And if you look down over here, there's a big old shiny bolt right there, and they're using that big old bolt to plug. They're using it to plug what might be the IAC or the EGR stuff, because this hose down here is supposed to go to like an EGR, something along that line. But they do still have the EGR installed in here, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm also looking for any vacuum leaks, because sometimes people forget to plug stuff in, because you guys know the 3.0 have so many damn hoses, and you know, anything can happen. So this one here, you see how that one, see that they plugged it, and that one goes to the orange one. So your orange one is the important one. That's one of your fuel stuff. So really, this orange one needs to be plugged into this intake system. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get one of these 3-way splitter and and tap it into here, because you're supposed to have this plugged in and not capped off or anything like that. These other two, that one and that one, you can delete them once you have done the EGR delete, but this one here needs to be plugged back in. So that's very important, guys. You got to know your stuff. And also you want to make sure all the spark plugs are nice and plugged in there. And again, the motor just sounds like it's running on 5-cylinder or something along that line. So let me go ahead and start it up for you guys so you guys can hear how it sounds. You can hear it it sounds pretty good. It does have an exhaust leak because it's on the original exhaust and the muffler is already cracking and leaking and such like that. You guys see the engine shaking? A good, healthy engine should not do that. I also need to get this plug back in there. Where did it go? Right here. Maybe this might be the problem. And then here's the timing. You can see when you mess with the timing, it's gonna mess with it. It runs better like this. It's not too bad, guys. I'm pretty sure the engine is still good, and it's just something very minor. Let me go ahead and get this plugged in over here, and let's see if it runs better. I got that hose fixed, no difference, but I also noticed that the intake boot to the throttle body, it's not even tightened on right now. So let me go tighten that real quick. No difference at all. I'm trying to make sure that all the injectors are plugged, because that's a very common thing that people do. They forget to unplug an injector, and I see that happen. I can't really see the injectors because you guys know that on your passenger side, they're hidden under the intake. I'm gonna check the voltage. Voltage is 14 volts. That means that the alternator is working good. I'm gonna check the timing really quick and see where we're at. I'm gonna try to set it to the correct timing and just hold the distributor there and see how the engine sounds like. So the timing is way off. It needs to, it's like trying to figure out if it's advanced. It's too advanced, I believe, right now. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that zip tie so I can adjust it. So that's what the timing should be at. It's around 5 to 10, about 8 degrees. And the engine sounds a bit better now. But something is still off with this engine. You guys can see there's no more room for the adjustment bolts. So I wonder if they did the timing wrong. You can see that you can't adjust it no more. Or you can't put a bolt in it because it needs to be more upward. And you can see now, the engine is less shaky. There's still a little bit of nervousness in it, but it sounds much better. Yeah, I think this engine is good, but something is wrong. They installed something incorrect. Either something is leaking or it has a vacuum leak somewhere. And I might have to find out what's going on with it. Yeah, it sounds a bit better, guys. I'm not sure if you can see the timing. The engine runs a bit better now with the timing adjusted, but this was really a whack job. I think these guys pretty much gave up. I took a look at the engine mounts. The engine mounts are not even bolted down to the frame. Check this out. I lifted this water shield right here, and you look right there. There's supposed to be a bolt right there and right there, and that is what holds your engine mount to the frame. And it's missing on the other side as well. So right now, this engine is basically sitting on its own weight with the help of the tranny, just sitting like that. So you probably don't want to go do any sweet jumps or anything like that. I'm pretty sure there's also some loose bolts here and there, because I'm pretty sure these guys just pretty much wanted to get this engine in here and see how it ran, and they probably just gave up. But honestly, I think if they did a good job at it, this engine is still good, because if it's running this good already, it's definitely not back compression. It's most likely timing, distributor, or something along that line. But they messed up somewhere because you can't put your bolt you can't put the bolt in no more because it's not lined up with that piece. So maybe that's the reason why it's a JDM motor. Maybe that piece is different. That's the bearing cap. There's a bearing cap that goes to the cylinder, and then it has a threaded hole for where you put your bolt through the distributor. So here's the old motor. This is where the distributor goes to, and this is a bearing cap that goes onto the cylinder, and then that's where your distributor bolt goes to. So maybe that part is different from this one, and they should have used this one here. So that could be the issue. It's been running for the last 10 minutes, and so far no overheating or anything like that, so we know that's good. I have the heat on level 2, which is nice and cozy. The oil pressure says 0 because the oil pressure wire is messed up and it's not plugged into the oil pressure sensor, but it does have oil pressure, or obviously the engine would have blown up already. Has about 1/4 tank of gas, and we have a good voltage right there. Tach works and everything works. Alright, so here's what I did for the whole distributor issue. The distributor is sitting right on top of that threaded hole. It cannot go below it. If it goes below it, it's gonna get funky. So what I did is I put a zip tie through that threaded hole to prevent the distributor from sliding back down. And let me show you, and so far it's fine. Engine sounds better than how it was before. You can see we need to stay above that threaded hole. That threaded hole is right below here. So right now, put that zip tie in there. With that zip tie, at least the distributor can't go down anymore. It can stay in this position, which sounds better. So guys, I think it's just a timing issue. I think the compressions are good. I might still do a compression check and make sure they're at least around the range of healthy motor, and then I want to at least sell this motor so I can at least recoup some money back, because it sounds like a healthy engine. If it was a bad compression, it would have sounded worse, even if I was able to get that timing fixed. So I think it's just a timing issue right now. And then that exhaust lead is what making it sound kind of loud. I'm gonna go ahead and, not right now, but when I have time, I'm gonna go ahead and put this power steering back on and make sure that everything's good on the power steering, because I can still drive this, but man, you guys know how it is driving with no power steering. So I'm gonna put this back on. It's really easy to put on the power steering on because you can just loop it through the fan and slap it on. You don't have to unbolt the AC, the alternator belt or anything like that. This vehicle don't have AC or anything like that, so that's good. If I get it running good and stuff like that, I'll go ahead and put some bolts into those engine mounts, so at least they're held in place nice and tight. Thank goodness I had a bunch of that from parting out all these rigs. But I want to get this engine running decently so I can at least move it around. Right now it's good because I can at least still move it around. I was able to drive it onto a car dolly that I rented from U-Haul. I drove it off the dolly and then I drove it into my driveway. It was parked on this side of the driveway, and then I moved it over here. So right now I don't want to disable this truck. I want this truck to be able to still move on its own power, because you guys know I'm getting ready for hunting season. So the next couple weeks here I'm going to be focusing on hunting, and I don't want to do anything yet with the 3.0 with this red truck. I want to take my time fixing it, and once the time comes, then I'll go ahead and remove this motor. But for now, the simple stuff, put the power steering on, put those engine bolts on, and at least be able to move it around. I think that's what's really important. And once we get a break in the rain, I really want to get inside the interior and start wiping everything down, and at least do a little bit of vacuuming, because every time I get inside there, it just feels so nasty and so smelly. So I want to do all that stuff, guys. So for now, we're going to conclude this video. If you guys want to follow this build, you guys got to stay tuned on the Instagram, NuttyNu_444. I keep you guys posted there all the time. Watch the stories and watch this build, guys. This is going to be a super build. A lot of people are asking me, Nu, which one are you going to keep? This one or your black one? Oh, I don't know, guys. At this point right now, I love my black truck. I've done so much stuff to the black truck that I love it. The 92 is amazing. It's literally the same thing as this red one. The only difference is this is a 94, that's a 92, but completely same thing. Once this thing gets a swap, it's going to be very similar. But this one, I want to keep it completely stock. front bumper, rear bumper, keep it stock because they're still in good shape. If you guys notice right in the center of that front bumper, there's a small dimple, a small dent, but nothing crazy. So I want to leave this truck stock as possible. Don't want to do anything to it. And most likely, guys, once I finish with this one might be going to somebody else. So stay tuned for that. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm super stoked for this 94. Like I said, it takes time and patience to find the right truck to do a 3/4 swap. And this right here fit the category. See you guys next time. Much love.